Oh, my turn on the
Paopao,
hotspot,
we'll
huh?
start with questions for Coach Paopao.
How did you start Jumpman Fridays? Is that you that started that?
Uh, as my wife would probably tell everybody, I have entirely way too many Jordans in my closet. And it's something that I've done that I've really liked. Probably started with Coach Royal. I mean, he is one of the biggest sneakerheads probably in our profession. And it was contagious. It was one of those things that I think is always cool. And, anytime that you're in recruiting, you're either memorable or forgettable, quite honestly. So something that stands out and grabs a little bit of attention.
Is it a
Always cool.
consistent thing with the other coaches, or you still have to remind them that hey, Friday's coming up, we have to work
I
late?
mean, if you're asking my opinion, I think I'm going to dominate every single Friday. But no, it was something that started for fun and gradually caught some fire. But I think we're going to definitely have some cool stuff on Fridays moving forward with some more Nike shoes, so it'll be fun.
How many pairs do you own? You know?
No comment.
Right?
Too many.
So how
Too
do you
many at
store
that
them?
point. What's that?
How do you store them? Do you have a whole closet dedicated to them?
There's a few. There's a few plastic boxes back in the closet.
Bryce was telling us when we talked to him a few weeks ago that there are actually two tight end positions that you guys have.
Yes.
Can you tell us what those are and what the differences are?
Yeah, we're always in an effort to try and get as many tight ends on the field as possible. It just makes you unique. But we have a traditional inline tight end, we call the Y, and then we have almost like an H-back that moves around and can do some flex things. Not to say that the Y won't be able to do some of those formationally speaking, but being able to have both a Y and an F in the game at the same time just makes it multiple, and you can really condense some sets and be able to try and run the football vertically up the field, and then you can ultimately try and get the defense in a heavier personnel and spread the field out and be an empty the very next snap. So that's a little bit of kind of the variability of those two positions.
Is Bryce one, the other, or both?
I think right now in spring ball you have probably seen about 15 different combinations of tight ends. Just to be able to see the skill set. I think in spring ball right now those guys are doing an awesome job because we're asking them to play both of those positions and different guys at different times, and just being able to see and get a great feel personnel-wise of who we got and how we can take the next step. I think is ultimately the biggest thing that we're trying to do right now.
Are there different attributes that each of the position needs to have?
I think the Y is, generally speaking, is going to be a guy that you really want to set the edge and be that big physical presence. To be able to cut off defensive ends and set the edge on wide zone plays. And then the F is, generally speaking, going to be more of your pass catching receiver that you're going to put on the move. But I think, the beauty about the position is you have to be able to do both. And I think the more that you can do, the more time that you're going to spend on the football field, like we're seeing with the young kid Alex Lyons.
Speaking of Alex, who has some background in Ken, what does he bring to the tight end?
I think he gets the expectation of what it should look like on a daily basis. Just being able to, just from simple things like studying the game, the buzzwords that I'm trying to bring to these guys to be able to get them to play faster. That is the biggest key, is how do I get these guys in meeting rooms, create competition within the room, and get them to see the game like a coach would and be able to dissect things both pre-snap and post-snap. I think are equally as important, and Alex is at a great spot because he's been able to see that for about a year now. And I think having him in the room and the way that he presents himself, the way he studies the game, the way that he answers questions is contagious. And I think a lot of the guys around him are starting to catch wind of the expectation.
What is your sense of your group's comfort level with the offense at this point?
Every day is just a work in progress. We're trying to be able to push and create yards however we can. I think those guys have done a phenomenal job with everything that we're asking them to do, formationally, motions, cadence. It's a lot like being a quarterback. You have to have a firm grasp on the offense as a whole. And I think those guys have attacked it every single day. They've gotten better every single day. And you're starting to see a lot of those fruits be able to come into play in terms of production. So now, how do we execute better? How do we refine some things and play faster is ultimately the effort.
I don't know if we're going to talk to you before the spring game, but how important is it to have a guy like Gronk come back and stay around the program?
Well, I think you can't have a better example of what you can do by playing tight end at this university. You look at the success that he has had, at the next level, the production that he's had over the years, and then just the visibility I think is unbelievable. We want to make this a unbelievable special place for all alumni. Both guys that are highly visible like him, but we want to create this personal environment that everybody that has played here or worn that jersey, we represent them, we're making them proud, and I think that's ultimately the definition of what makes this personal.
How much do you bring him up when you're out recruiting?
Every chance that I can. I mean, I literally try and time myself about how many times I can mention his name, especially with 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
Back to one more question.
So, we haven't seen Roberto Miranda in team drills. We've seen him out here, though, running after practice. He seems to have intriguing potential. What do you think the future could hold for him?
I think it's really exciting that I think the game is very, very new to Roberto, but his work ethic is unbelievable. Just his hunger to be able to get in meetings, spend extra time in my office, and I just really am excited to see him operate at full speed here very, very shortly, because I feel like we're really close to that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Y'all have a good night.